Welcome to a place for those in search of truth and conviction, a place where we discuss culture, politics, philosophy, and everything in between. I'm Luke, and I'm here with Russ. This is Hardly Strictly Politics.
Hell, yes, dear listener. The HSP boys are back in the saddle once again for episode number 89. Thank you so much for saddling up with us. Prime number episode, dear listener. Prime number episodes go very well for the HSP boys, and we are certain that they go well for you too. 2 separate continents, 2 separate countries, 2 separate adult beverages just to make it fair, and 2 separate cups of coffee fee. 2 separate fact shamings, 2 separate show preps, 2 separate trails to the same inevitable conclusion. 89, dear listener. 89 is the 24th prime number divisible only by 1 in itself. 89 is a Pythagorean prime. It's an Einstein prime. It is also a Fibonacci prime, meaning that it is a prime number which is part of the Fibonacci sequence. 1989, Ronald Reagan steps down as president and George H.W. Bush is sworn in. 1989, the Exxon Valdez spills 240,000 barrels of oil off the coast of Alaska. Oliver North is found guilty in the Iran-Contra scandal. The Supreme Court rules that burning the American flag is constitutionally protected free speech, if you can believe it. Nolan Ryan gets his 5,000th strikeout playing with the Texas Rangers. The Berlin Wall comes down. President Bush and Mikhail Gorbachev officially announced the end of the Cold War. Dear listener, 1989 was very busy, but none of that really matters right now. And why is that? Because the trail grows longer each and every single week. And 89 means that we've got 89 miles to ride on this trail right here, right now. So let's not tarry. Let's saddle up and ride into episode number 89, which is in the house presently. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Zero Gravity Med. Send us feedback at zero-gravity-media.com. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Podbean, and TuneIn, all 5 under Zero Gravity Media. Find us on YouTube, look for Zero Gravity Media and our God tier Zero G logo. Leave us some feedback using the contact form at our website, zero-gravity-media.com/contact. Each episode, Luke and I like to call out one city. And this city, the magic of this city, is the city with the most HSP listens during the previous week. So without any further ado, the city with the most HSP listens during the previous 2 weeks is... Now, dear listener, this is very interesting when this happens. We have an honest two-way tie up here at the front of this posse. First time in a long time. Once again, back at the front and absolutely commanding the saddle this week, we have Boston, Massachusetts, and Mountain View, California. Welcome back to the front, Boston and Mountain View. Thank you so much, both cities, and way to throw down. You belong up here with us. Thank you so much. How about that, man? A tie. It's been a long time, man. Like 40 episodes or so since we had a tie. So,
yeah, most definitely. You always get me with the drum roll. I'm like waiting, and then you go, no, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what is it?
Nice. Man, what a week.
But yeah, we haven't had a two-way tie. I can't remember ever that we've had a two-way tie.
We did once before, and it was like in the late 30s, maybe mid 30s, something like that. So, almost 60 episodes later, it happens again. It happens from time to time, I guess. So it's because it's prime number episode. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Surely that was as well.
Yeah. Yep. So what it is.
Yeah, what it is. What are you drinking?
I got a little bit of whiskey, not too much, a whole bunch of water, some coffee, and that's about it. How about yourself? What you got?
Well, I don't have coffee. I have coffee.
Oh, that's true. Coffee. My bad. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, I've got a little bit of wine. I got a small glass of wine, a little bit of rum off to the side.
Oh, right.
Just as a treat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. Man, last trip through our 80s. We're about to hit 90. Dang. We're officially old at 90, man. For real. So, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. We're going to be old at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot's changing, man. I'm hoping by next week, dude, I've got my bunker studio. Have I told you about my bunker studio?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. But I think it was on the lost episode. where you explained to dear listener the bunker studio, man. You want to run us through it real quick? Sounds really comfy, really comfy.
Yeah, basically. So like these old buildings in Germany. I don't think it's just Germany. I think it's it's not delimited to just Germany. I think it's Europe in general. But they have these huge oil heaters like in these rooms beneath the buildings, and all the buildings have basements, right? So like if you've got like we live in a building where there's 3 flats, right? There's a ground floor flat, then there's 2 above that, and you can imagine these as being, you know, 1 or 2 or even if you wanted 3-bedroom apartments. Mm-hmm. But they're more just flats, concrete walls and whatnot. And each one of those has a basement room to store stuff. But in addition to that, you'll have a laundry room down there. Then you'll have a heating room. Then you'll have an oil room. And the oil room is to store all of the oil and heat all the oil, which serves the heaters throughout the building. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, now you don't have to deal with that. You can do natural gas and remove everything out of that oil heating room. And you end up with this huge empty room. And so my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law were like, yeah, you can just have that room. And I was like, really?
Really?
And they were like, yeah. And I was like, all right. New studio, wallpapering that, turning it into a studio, going to put some office style carpet down, and I'm going to call it the bunker because it's literally underground, concrete walls. You can't hear it. It's like foot thick concrete walls in every direction. In two directions, it's ground. You're literally just underground. And, you know, Russ, what I'm most excited about is it's big enough that I think on one side, I'm going to put some rubber matting down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2, you know, I'm going to go to the hardware store. I'm going to buy 2 big metal hooks. I'm going to drill 2 big holes in the ceiling.
Man. Hell yeah.
I'm going to anchor those hooks up into the ceiling. And then I'm going to hang gymnastics rings from there because I'm really big into gymnastics rings workouts right now. And I'm going to hang those gymnastics rings from those hooks. And then I'm going to, you know, I'm really going to imagine what it must have been like to have lived in ancient Greece. And I am going to work out heroically nude.
Oh my God. Scandalous. All right, man. All right.
I think it'll be awesome, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always wanted to work out heroically nude.
Yeah,
now
sure.
I can.
Yeah, you can.
In my bunker.
Yeah.
Hey, work out heroically nude and then go record HSP.
Right.
Still nude.
Oh,
if
man,
I wanted.
That's kind of a creepy thought, but yeah, sure. Yeah, you can.
I won't tell you. And I won't tell dear listener either.
All right, good.
I may or may not be nude next time I record HSP, dear listener.
Stay clothed, bro. Stay clothed.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be able to do live streams.
Yeah, that's true. That's for sure. Yeah.
Or if I do a live stream and I'm heroically nude, I'll have to put like the Acropolis, on a green screen behind me to make sure it's appropriate,
Yeah. Yep. Nice. I love it. Well done, man. And so you think you'll have it done within the week? Everything moved down there and set up and all that?
It was supposed to be cleared out this week, but it's like, this is Europe. Like the heating people kind of like, they showed up on Monday and they dropped off like a wrench, and then left. And then on Tuesday they showed up and they dropped off like a little thing. I don't know, like a little footstool. And they like dropped off something each day throughout the week, but never actually did anything.
Yeah.
So I guess they were working on other stuff. I don't know, but yeah, it's supposed to. It's imminent. That heater is out of commission at this point. They just have to remove it. So yeah, it should be. I mean, the other thing is that it's not actually accessible through a proper doorway. You have to kind of climb up and through like a metal window in it. Like it really is like a bunker in the sense that like you have to. It's not just opening a door and you walk in. Like it's 4 feet up off the ground, and then there's like this, foot thick concrete wall, which is accessible through like a metal latch doorway, and that opening is only like 2 feet by 2 feet. So you have to crawl up and through it. And then there's this giant heater thing when you do that. So yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty. When I say it's like a bunker, it really is. Like it's you can't. It's not like it's a basement room. No, it's like this. I have lived in our place now for 3.5 years. I didn't even know that room existed.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, cha-ching, man. Now it's a studio. And now it's going to be made great again. Even greater than before, ever. That house is like, it's an old house. I know that for sure, right? Like 100 years old, something like that?
No, not that old. It's after World War II. It's about 50, 60 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a nice little, nice little pad, and it's comfortable for family to live in. And this is very much the German thing. I mean, dude, I've thought about this. A lot of times they ask people like, these happiness studies in Europe and, or specifically Sweden and Norway, these happiness studies, they're so much higher than America. And, why are Europeans so much happier there than in America? And I've thought about this a lot. And it's like, well, yeah, like their happiness over here is so much more of a passive style of happiness. It's like you don't have to go out and they're not trying to, you don't have to go out and seek your happiness, and you're not trying to go out and achieve happiness either. It's just sort of, it's such a passive, just a passive understanding of happiness. And in America, it's like, are you happy? It's like, well, yeah, but I could always be happier. And then then that's like, oh, well, they're not happy because they could be happier. So like, it's like all these happiness studies, like relative, like Europe versus America. You're just dealing with people who are just from totally different places. In America, people are just obsessed with finding happiness, self-actualization, finding that which is going to satisfy their highest desires in life, whether that's monetary or whether that's through just sheer spiritual fulfillment. And in Europe, it's like they don't even know anything. They don't even know anything different. They're just kind of, yeah, I'm just rocking along. Yeah, I'm happy. Oh, okay. Oh my God, Europeans are so much happier than Americans. It's ridiculous. So anytime, dear listener, like anybody's like comes to you, there's like, oh, these happiness studies of Norway and Sweden, they're so much higher than America. They're dealing with people who are passively happy. They don't know anything different. They're not trying to grow. They're happy with the way in which they currently are. And that is a fundamentally different understanding of happiness than an American understanding of happiness.
Indeed. Yeah. All right, bro. You want to into the content? And we forgot to pick a first topic before we hit the red button, right?
Whoops a daisy.
Yeah, whoops a daisy. Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to ask you. This is an off topic, and we didn't talk about this before the show.
Okay.
But I want to ask you, dude, what are your thoughts on like the whole cruise industry and how the cruise industry has been affected by this?
I haven't really thought about it much. There have been many government funds poured into the cruising industry, probably with good reason. I learned and got red-pilled about the fact because of the Kung Flu that it is a very over-leveraged industry, just because of the price of these vessels that they build. They're really expensive.
Yeah, totally.
But that said, I'm not a cruiser myself, but I know a lot of people, including yourself and Jessica, who are. So
have you ever been on a cruise before?
No, man, it's not my thing. Maybe I will someday, but it's
dude. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing, and then after I did a cruise, I was like, I'm a cruiser.
Huh. Interesting.
Dude, cruising is so much fun. It is. It is, dude. It is so much fun. I love it. It's like, if you could imagine being trapped inside of a village from which there is no escape, But I mean that in a good way, where there's like there's like an Irish bar, and there's this bar and that bar, and when you get tired of that, you go here, and like all over the place. Dude, it is so much fun. I love cruising. It's like a skyscraper tilted upon its side for a week. That's what it's like.
Nice.
I was shocked. I had no idea it was so much fun. And then the port days, you know?
Right.
You know, I always thought it was like a bunch of fat, drunk Americans running around going, stuff my face.
Right.
Like that's what I thought a cruise was.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's actually, I mean, well, it's some of that depending on your departure port, but no, it's actually, dude, it's awesome. I love cruising. Love it. Love it.
Well, so what are your thoughts about all of the bailout money they've taken from the United States government, the German government, and there is yet another government that, well, I guess Germany by proxy, really it was EU, and there was someone else that gave money to the cruising industry, but I can't recall who. Was it Japan? Let me just leave that point, dear listener. There for sure was another government that gave bailout funds to the cruising industry. I can't recall who it was, so let's not.
Well, what ended up happening in Germany is that the German government restructured their debt.
That's right.
So they basically bailed them out by restructuring their debt. And the reason that they did that was because the people who build the cruise ships, that all happens in Germany. It happens in Germany. It happens in Italy. It happens in France. A lot of people don't realize these huge ass cruise ships. I mean,
it's a crucial industry. Truly, it is.
It's a crucial industry, but it's a precise process of construction. You know, this isn't something you can just ship off to China. You know, It's like a lot of people don't realize, like when you build a propeller, for example, for a cruise ship or any boat, it could be a container ship, doesn't matter. If like within millimeters, if the propeller is off, then the ship shakes violently.
That
the
is
whole time it's underway.
Fact. Yes.
So it's like it takes this level of like German engineering and precision, and French engineering and precision to really dial in even a propeller, and that's just the propeller. A lot of these ships these days are so large that they can't even be manufactured in the same facility. So a lot of times they're being manufactured in one part of France and then one part of Italy. And then in France, they're taking half of the ship and putting it on a barge, like a whole half of a giant container ship or a giant cruise ship. And then they're flat barging it like through the ocean down to Italy and then bringing it in. And then they're in a dry dock, bringing them together and then welding them together. And the interesting thing is like as you're building the two, they have to down to the millimeter. Again, you're doing them from a couple thousand miles apart. They have to be constructed precisely to the same dimensions, so that when one half arrives to the other, and they're welded together, they are exactly the same dimension down to the millimeter.
That's correct.
It's insanity. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly difficult. And then, let's not even talk about like the engineering that goes like let's take a cruise ship, for example. You know, you think about the Blackwater, which is like the feces and so what goes down, the laundry water, the shower water, that's gray water, but the toilet water, this is called Blackwater, what goes down there. And they, it goes through a series of tanks, and there's bacteria down there that eats it up and filters the water a little bit. And it does that over the course of several tanks. And by the end, like, you're left with drinkable water. You can literally drink the water. Now,
yeah, that's right.
They don't feed that back in. They actually sell that out to farmers on islands and places in which they dock, which, honestly, the cruising industry gets a lot of guff from the environmentalists, But what's funny, now that I think about it, Russ, what's funny to me is like, dude, they should be like, okay, you know what we're doing? We're taking a bunch of obese Americans, trapping them on a boat, stuffing their faces with buffet food, and they shit it all out, and then we turn that into water to which we give farmers in third world countries.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
they're doing a service. This is like a service. The world should be thanking the cruise industry for taking American obesity and distributing it out in the form of water across third world countries. Right? It's like, Jesus was able to, through miracle, gets all the credit for turning water into wine, yet the cruise industry gets no credit for turning shit into water.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? Come on.
Yeah.
Time
all
to
right,
get
man.
that Royal Caribbean credit card.
Indeed.
Points.
Indeed.
Yeah. You should get points for it.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
Monitor your toilet output.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this, Luke. And we can shift topics after this. I do think that there is a lot of pent up demand, in the words of Donald Trump, for the cruising industry. And I think that we don't give investment advice here, but I think cruising stocks are a pretty good buy right now. I also think that cruising profits, once this virus passes, are going to go through the roof. And maybe even before the virus passes, but they got hammered in the liberal media about being basically, floating sardine cans that were contagion zones, right? It's going to take some time for people to get through that, but they will. And when they do, I expect massive economic boost into that industry. Yeah,
100%. I would totally agree. And here, for a couple reasons. Number one, the smaller players are just in the same way Corona, and I should say the left in America, is doing to small businesses, which is obliterating small businesses out of existence.
Yes.
What's even happening in Germany? Jessica and I tried to go get Mexican food a couple days ago, and they were out of business as a result of Corona here in Germany. But the same thing is happening in the cruising industry. So they're eliminating the people at the bottom of the rung in the industry and concentrating the business in the top, which is the Royal Caribbeans. A second thing I'll say is that in Norway, so there's a Norwegian company, I can't remember, it's a difficult name to pronounce. Everyone just calls it Expeditions, Expeditions. Norwegian cruise company. And they're operating, but what they're doing in Norway, it's still illegal to make port stops. So what they're doing is they're starting from their port of origination, and then they just go up the fjords. And they go up the fjords, and then they refuel, and then they go up different fjords, and they do that over and over again, and then they just terminate at their port of origination.
Huh.
And they started a month ago, and they're already at, they said they'll start at 40% capacity, and they're already at 30% capacity within a month with almost no advertising.
Yeah, there it is. Case in point. Yes.
And here in Germany, river cruises have been operating for more than a month now. And here's the thing, Russ. This is why I don't believe any of this bullshit coming out of America about, oh my God, Florida spiking in cases, Texas spiking in cases. Okay, first of all, bullshit. Russ, I know you've seen this week where the CDC is completely full of shit. The hospitals are recording every single case as being positive.
That is correct.
When it's actually 9%. They're reporting every single test that they take. They're reporting 100% positive. It's actually 9%. There was a case this week where somebody died in a motorcycle wreck.
Yeah.
They attributed that to a cause of Corona.
Yep. It's the lead story on Zero Hedge at this very moment. Yes. And also San Antonio got busted really hard. They had 37 or 38 not false positives, lies in the amount of cases they included in their daily spike, right? It was a lie. These people were never tested. And so they had to recant and take that off. Nonetheless, the agenda here is clear. they're trying to make it seem like a disaster zone because they want their, I was about to swear, but I held it down. Their mail-in voting. They want to shut down the economy so that Trump loses on the economy in the election.
They want to cause chaos. They want chaos.
Yeah. It's transparent what this is about. So now
but we called, dude, you and I, Russ, called this out like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said, I don't believe any of this shit. And the reason is because this is not happening if Germany, a place where we take public transportation, we take trams on the Hauptstrasse, which is the German for Main Street, right? It's like tiny. People are squeezing in and out of each other. It's like it's literally almost the populate like in terms of density, in terms of your proximity to other people. It's almost the protests.
Yeah, right. Right.
And nobody is wearing masks. You're not required to wear a mask. And even if you don't wear a mask, nobody says anything to you. And in Germany, everything's fine. Dude, I go to the gym. There's no gym. There's no masks in the gym. We're all lifting weights. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody's wearing a mask. You're not required to wear a mask. And it's nothing. Mm-hmm. I said this like 3 weeks ago on our show. I was like, if this isn't happening in a place like Europe where everybody's crammed together, everyone's on public transportation, we're working out in the gym, we're going to work at this point, and there's not a spike here, and there's a spike in a place like Texas where nobody takes public transportation, nobody's around each other in close proximity, the grocery stores are huge, and it's very easy to social distance. And you're telling me in a place like Texas and Florida, there's some crazy spike? Bullshit. Mm-hmm. Bullshit. That's not happening. I call bullshit. I don't believe that for one moment. And here we are, 3 weeks later. Oh, it's come out. All of the hospitals. And Russ, you told me, I'm not arguing against you, but this was a data point that you had offered, and we had talked about it then. You had said, well, the one metric I do believe is hospitalizations, and I didn't have anything to say back to you at that moment. All I said was, I don't have anything to say, I just don't believe it. And you were like, that's the one thing I do believe. And I was like, I get that, but I don't have any reason to believe that at all. I think all of it's bullshit. And here we are, and I'm not saying this against you again, Russ. I'm just saying in general, here we are, the media, bullshit. They're all full of shit. In Florida, it's like, turns out all the hospitals, anybody who tests for a corona, it's a 100% positive test rate. Oh, and then it's like, oh no, actually now it's 9%. You know, now we have somebody who's killed in a motorcycle wreck in Florida who had corona, and they attributed that. Oh yeah, that was a death as a result of corona, not because he died in a motorcycle wreck. It was because he tested positive for corona. It's dude, like the United States is. And I've had people, I've actually had the lady who cooks our lunch food at my work. She came into my office like super concerned. She's like, is your family okay? And I was like, yeah, everybody's fine. It's all good. You know, it's like, she's super nice and I don't want to expose her to any of this. But I was just thinking, I was like, Jesus, she has no idea that the media and everybody is completely full of shit. They are lying through their teeth about these numbers, the hospitalizations, the death numbers, all of it, all of them. They are lying through their teeth. They are completely full of shit. All of them. Yeah. Do not believe any of this. If in Europe, my God, dude, Russ, I work with a guy, he's European. His wife is Chinese. And I asked him, we were both in the office, happened to be both in the office on Thursday. I asked him, I was like, dude, so how's your Chinese family handling this over in China? He's like, oh, they're fine. School started to back up. Everything's all good. Nobody's sick. Everything's fine. Dude, this is in China. In fact, they're in Shanghai. Like a highly if in China and Shanghai, they can be resuming this.
Yeah.
And in Europe, they can be resuming this. I mean, the idea that cases are just going out of control in Texas. Oh my God, Florida, Texas. Oh, bullshit. all of them.
Well,
They're all full of shit. Do not believe any of it, dear listener.
Let me
Sorry,
back it up with a little bit of data. Okay, so there was a blog piece that came out by David Stockman yesterday, a very intelligent guy, not my favorite commenter in the world, but extremely intelligent. His blog is called Contra Corner Blog. Okay, and he came out with this kind of article yesterday, kind of debunking the whole thing, all of these data points that Luke is talking about. I'm going to go from about halfway down the piece, and I quote, "That hasn't stopped the COVID howlers from proclaiming a phony medical crisis in Texas and elsewhere with the same old tropes about overflowing hospitals and strained ICU capacity in places like Houston. But as the eagle-eyed maven of the corona data, Alex Berenson, tweeted this morning, it's just a big fat lie. While CNN may have managed to find one or two crowded facilities in the whole of the Houston-Harris County region of some 5 million souls, there are actually still more than 2,500 empty hospital beds in the area. Here's the thing. The Virus Patrol has switched from the death count to the case count because the latter is not at the 3,000 per day predicted by the CDC in early May and ballyhooed by the New York Times and MSM as the leading edge of a horrid, quote, second wave, oh my God, coming down the pike. There it is. Well said, Mr. Stockman. Well said. There it is. And by the way, Luke, I'm looking at charts of this data. The charts are included in the piece. It's absolutely true. So a little bit of a self-excuse here. I do believe things like hospital numbers, death numbers, things like this. They're very objective numbers. They were lies, right? I was believing the reporting that Houston was out of hospital space and Dallas was next. It was a lie. There's still 2,500 empty ICU beds in Houston right now, right? Not to mention these people that get infected. What is it, Luke? It's like 0.2% of them that are testing positive need medical attention. Isn't that about right? 0.2%, something like that? Yeah.
Like in your defense, dude, like in the very beginning, I was like, oh, we have to believe Fauci because there was a show in which you're like, Luke, man, I don't know if I believe Fauci, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, man, don't get into that conspiratorial shit. We got to listen to our experts.
Right. It was all bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all bullshit the whole time. It was a socially engineered either experiment or weapon when you get down to it.
I think what it was, it's a 3-stage thing in my opinion at this point. The first stage was it happened.
Sure.
Right? Now, the debating points on whether the reason for it happening could be the Democrats tapped into China and they said, we need you to deploy Corona or COVID and make sure a pandemic happens, or the Chinese government did it themselves, or it happened by accident. Okay, whatever. I don't know which one of those three it was. All right. I tend to think it was an accident. All right. But whatever. That's the first stage. Then the second stage was, holy shit. Oh my God. Let's all take this seriously. We need to deal with this. And yeah, we can debate and quibble over, this and that, but let's not be out of control. Now we're in the third stage, which is the left going, wear a mask.
Yeah.
If you don't wear a mask, you are a murderer.
Yeah.
And
this is the biggest social shaming operation I've ever seen, ever. It's unbelievable, dude.
Yeah. And in addition to that, wear a mask. You're a murderer. By the way, make sure lots of people test positive in Florida. Whatever you do, Fauci, make sure run cover for us while we inflate up the numbers in Florida and Texas and all the red states, and no one's going to ask any questions about San Diego or LA. And oh no, look, it's not about California, it's San Francisco. We're gonna make Trump. It's dude, like, so we're in this third stage where now it's like, okay, we're now like. The left is now trying to divide, like, okay, we're gonna give you New York and San Francisco.
That's exactly right.
As plausible deniability, so that we can blame all of the right for Texas and Florida.
That's exactly right.
That's what it is.
That's exactly right. Yes. Oh
dude,
man, it's
they
ass
are
chapping.
yeah, dude, they are a bunch of pernicious sons of sons of bitches, man.
Yeah, man. The left has really become very evil. But the white pill about this, I think, Luke, is that the veil is lifted and they are now officially losing the narrative. You know, even though Gavin Newsom is doing stupid shit, he basically shut California down again. 38 counties, basically the whole state, everything, restaurants, movie theaters, gyms, all of it. It's shut down. Beaches, national parks, or state parks, everything shut down, right? So mask order, comprehensive mask order. But, oh my God, no. They have to release 18,000 prisoners in the interest of the public health to keep people from getting sick. Unbelievable, dude. 18,000 prisoners. That's larger than most towns in middle America. That's larger than most cities, right? A larger population. And they're going to spread everywhere and cause havoc all over the country, right? And so my point is this, okay? They did tap into it, and they have exacted their agenda perfectly with one exception, illegal immigration. And that's because, frankly, illegals are leaving right now because nobody wants to be in the States anymore. Mexicans now are just like, I'm not going to America. I'm not going until this settled down, you know? And that's where we're at right now, you know? So they can't push that one. But like we've argued, dear listeners, so many times in these hallowed halls, the left is very good about moving seamlessly from agenda item to agenda item to agenda item. And man, they've done it all right now. Luke, they've done it all. But people are seeing through it. I like that. People are seeing through it. But let me ask you this. Do you think that Kung Flu is something that should still be taken seriously? Because I agree with you. This is all bullshit. All of it, right? But should it still be taken seriously? Should it be mocked? Should the left be mocked? What do you think about this? I think it should be taken seriously. I do, right? Got to wear a mask. If it's a trade-off to wear a mask to keep the economy open, okay, that's fine. To me, that's taking it seriously. That's fine. I'm still washing my hands, you know, all that kind of stuff. What do you think?
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. But
yeah, right.
I mean, just do like we do here in Germany.
Yeah.
Just, I try to sanitize when I leave the store, wear a mask, and that's basically it. Everything
Pretty
else is otherwise open.
Yep.
I don't even sanitize when I lift weights anymore. I'm like grabbing weights and grabbing barbells and all this and that. Like, I mean, at first I was like, you know, wiping everything down and then I just, you know, it's like, whatever. It's like when I touch things like a credit card machine button, you know?
Yeah.
I sanitize my finger.
Yeah.
When I touch things like that lots of other people touch, like refueling my car, the gas handle.
Yeah.
You know, I sanitize that thing. Like things like this. Grocery cart. I'll tell you this, Russ. I've gotten sick twice in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Like flu type sickness. I've gotten sick twice in 4 years. Mm-hmm. And both of them, and I know this because it was within hours afterwards that I became sick. It was from the grocery cart.
Yeah.
Touching the handles on the grocery cart.
Yep.
And I started sanitizing them after that happened the second time. I was like, I'm never using one of those things again without sanitizing it. And I never became sick again. It was the only time I never became sick from the gym or anything else. It was from touching the grocery carts, the handles, like pushing a grocery cart. So, you know, this whole thing where it's just an obsession in America where it's like, oh my God, the spike in Florida, the spike in Texas. It's complete bullshit. Like I'm to the point now, I think that we have a moral obligation to completely let up on all laws and all effects and everything on Corona in response to the left's attempt to politicize this.
Yeah. I get your point. I hadn't even thought of it, but I totally agree.
Like we have a moral obligation to act in the complete opposite of all of it. And they're going to go, oh my God. Let them go crazy. Let them go, oh my God, oh, blah, 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 blah. Let them go crazy. The people will see for themselves. I don't know anybody that's sick.
Right.
I don't know anybody to whom this has happened. Dude, I know one person of the thousands of people that I know one person that has gotten corona, and that was to the extent that they had to have been tested. And he actually had to be hospitalized as well. And guess what? He lived in San Francisco. And guess where he worked?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And guess where he worked? Feeding homeless people.
Oh yeah, right. That's
out of a soup kitchen.
Okay. Yeah.
He's the only person that I know that that has gotten corona.
I know a couple, including my next door neighbor, and and he's recently moved in, right? And so he told me, he was like, when we were first meeting and stuff, he was like, just so you know, I just got over corona. I'm like, oh shit, so I take a couple steps back.
It's like a sex offender, It's like you have to right. go knock on all your neighbors' doors and be like, just so you know, I've had corona.
Yeah, just so. Just so
you know, I'm a sex offender, but more importantly, I've had corona.
Kung flu.
I have been arrested for looking at child pornography, but really, what I need to tell you is that I've had COVID-19.
Yeah. Well, he's a healthy lad. You know what I mean? He's pretty yoked and stuff. I asked him. I was like, shit. I was like, do you know how you got it? And he was like, yeah, I got it from my dad. I was like, okay. I was like, how sick were you? He was like, well, I was sick. You know what I mean? I was sick. And I was like, how long did it last? He was like, 3 days. I was like, shit. And he was like, in the third day, it kind of just ended. Like in the afternoon, all of a sudden, I just felt better. I was like, huh, okay. Well, how did you feel on day 4? He was like, I felt a little bit weak and stuff like that. But I felt fine, And I was like, so is it like the flu? He was like, yeah, it was like a kind of sort of mild case of the flu is what it was like. And I was like, okay, is this the sickest you've ever been? And he's like, no. And I was like, why do you think you kicked it in 3 days? And he said that he did drink a lot of water, took vitamin C. His dad is in his 60s, and his dad had a little bit harder time kicking it, late 60s, in fact. But his dad kicked it in 5 days, right? And I was like, okay, how was he on day 6? He was like, he was fine. So there you go. I mean, it's anecdotal testimony, but, like he said, no, man, it's far from the sickest I've ever been. But I was sick, I was sick. And both did test positive. So it's definite. They tested positive. But I mean, who even knows? These tests are so rigged now, Luke. I don't even know if I believe testing data anymore. I don't believe anything. I don't believe any of it anymore. So,
yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. So, man, where are we at on? Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. So,
sorry. Yeah. No, my cat was like trying to get out, and I tried to let her out, and then the wind swept the door shut. That's what that.
I heard that. I wonder what that was. Yeah.
No, it was my cat trying to get out. But yeah, dude. I don't believe any of this shit. I mean, Corona is real. It's okay, whatever. You can get it, but the extent of the response is it's just absurd. I don't give a shit about Corona at this point. Let it whatever. I don't care. Wait until November. Dear listener, wait until November. You're not going to hear about Corona.
Oh yeah, this ends with the election.
Yeah. Just wait. Yeah. Just wait until November. Yeah. You're not going to hear about Corona. Maybe you'll hear about it in like spring, and the left, maybe they'll use it. Maybe they'll try to revive Corona. They'll probably try and spread it. They'll probably try and like, hold a CCP party, Chinese Communist Party in Washington, everyone infected with Corona, like in March,
right.
Just to restart it a little bit, maybe they'll do something like that. But this whole thing, this is a bunch of bullshit. Don't buy into this shit. And your scientist friends that are like, oh, I think this is serious. Oh, no, yeah, bullshit. All right. If you need to survive, like that's more important than this narrow a possibility of getting it, and even a more narrow possibility of symptoms presenting, and an even more narrow possibility of you having to go to the hospital, and an even more narrow possibility of you actually it manifesting itself in terms of a life situation. This is a life-threatening situation. This is all bullshit that the left is pushing. And Russ, you said this at first, and I pushed back against you, and I am now like walking all of that back. I was totally, I was totally wrong. The left is so far, like, so much more nefarious than I could have imagined in this respect. Yeah. They are milking Corona. They are milking Corona to destroy as many lives, destroy as many businesses, cause as much damage, cause as much chaos as they possibly can. They are milking this for all that they can. And that which they are milking is destruction. They are milking destruction for all that they can.
Yes. Because then they get to hang it around the head of the president as an election issue. Again, dear listener, this virus is not about health. It's not about safety. It's not about, we probably need to keep the schools closed down through 2021. In the words of Fauci, I really think this political divide is really getting in the way of us stopping the virus. Yeah, guess who caused that, you son of a bitch? You caused it, right? All of this is narrative, and it's all about the election. And Dr. Fauci, I'm going to go on record and say, he is a bought and paid for leftist operative working against Donald Trump.
I think we should just start calling him Dr. Ouchie.
Dr. Ouchie, I like it. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, dude, what's up with this voice, man?
I don't know.
He has a lifetime of drinking gasoline. That's what it's
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So he sounds like somebody who has an artificial voice box in his throat. You know what I mean? That's like a smoker. That's what he sounds like. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I've talked to Donald Trump, and we have decided that what we need to do is keep this. I can't do a New York accent. We need to keep the schools closed. And dude, I can't do it.
That's all good.
Can you do a New York accent?
Well, I can do it. I can do it for Dr. Ouchie. Yes, I can do that New York accent for him. But I can't do Trump, for example. Like I can kind of do Trump, but not really. Yeah. Yeah, it's what a scam.
I believe Fauci. I believe Fauci. Okay.
Oh man. Well, I don't know. A lot of shit is coming out about Dr. Fauci, and I've got some sources pulled up. We don't need to get into it in the interest of time, but Luke, I think repercussions are going to happen to him, and I think a price will be paid for his leftist political malfeasance. Truly, I do. He's all involved in remdesivir, the miracle cure. This is really a breakthrough. He's been an investor since the very beginning, right? This is now provable, documentably provable, right? And more stuff, I think, is coming out about this son of a bitch. And so I don't know. He's 80 years old. I don't understand why he's even still working. He doesn't have to. He could retire right now, right?
He's like the Ruth Bader
yeah,
Ginsburg of the medical industry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he is, and I think that he will be. Just a guess. I think he'll be forced to retire. Not really by Trump. By his own bullshit.
Is he really that old, though?
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's 80. Mm-hmm.
God, he doesn't look that old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean,
my dad's going to send me an email tomorrow saying, it's because he's vegan.
Is he vegan? Is he?
Fauci?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I have no idea, but
okay.
I could imagine my dad saying that.
Yeah, I can too. So, which is cool.
Because he's vegan.
Yeah. But man, good God almighty, man. RBG comes out yesterday that her liver cancer is back. They've known since May. They covered it up from the media for 2 months. Man, can we get through a year without RBG getting cancer again? This woman is the Terminator. I'm serious. She is the Terminator. And RBG, we wish you well. You've made some good decisions recently, some shit decisions also. The Supreme Court, I don't know. Did we cover it in 88 or was it the Lost 89 that we covered it? I can't remember. We covered the Supreme Court case. Oh, it was the Lost 89. That's unfortunate, man. That was a really good segment. We were talking about Oklahoma and all of that other kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, dude. So, I mean, we can still put that out. I mean,
okay.
There's all nothing stopping us, dude. We can do 89.2.
All right. That's cool. That's cool. Maybe.
We could do that. Yeah.
All right. That's cool. So.
Yeah, I forgot about that whole, Oklahoma's Muskogee territory topic.
Yeah, man. That shit's crazy. Yeah. So.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Let's imagine a scenario in which, and I'm just making this up entirely.
Okay.
In which the Muskegees wrote a letter to your family and said that one of your ancestors had born a child of Muskegee descent, and now you own a plot, but that plot belongs to a farmer in eastern Oklahoma, but now it belongs to you because that's Muskegee territory. What would you do?
I would waive the property.
Let's say it's 100 acres. Let's say it's 100 acres of cornfield. We'll just say cornfield.
Yeah, I would waive the property. That's just me, Now, if it's up in the Potato Hills or something like that, I might swipe that one. If it's like got a cabin on it in the mountain. It's in eastern Oklahoma. It's like a kind of a small-ish mountain range. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So you'd swipe it.
Probably that one. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't. I would let people have their property. I wouldn't take their stuff away. So yeah.
Okay, let me ask this. What if what if the Muskegee tribe said, if you don't take it, we will?
Then I would take it and sell it back for pennies on the dollar to the original owner. That's what I would do.
That's the way to go. That's the ethical. Yeah. That's the ethical response. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
would you support an uprising of farmers against the Muskegees?
Yes. Would you?
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I would. And I don't find that unlikely, man. Or rather, I don't find it impossible. People are pretty pissed off about that decision. Pretty pissed off.
So do you know okay, well, hold on. We're probably leaving dear listener in the dust here. So dear listener, just to let you know. So last week, there was a Supreme Court decision which stemmed from a 1997 case.
1886. Or I'm sorry, 1866 was the treaty. You're right. It was a 1997 case. Sorry, bro. I've got a frog in my throat. I'm gonna hit the cough button here real quick. Sorry.
All good, man. So there was a guy who murdered somebody in 1997, and so his lawyer made the case that he couldn't be tried in eastern Oklahoma because and had not been properly, and I don't know the verbiage here, constituted or handed over from the Muskegee tribe to the United States government. I don't know the verbiage here. Forgive me for that, but it stemmed from a late 1800s treaty which had not been properly executed. And frankly, there were probably a lot of them that were not properly executed all across the United States, which is why this is important, because who knows where this is going to go next, because this now set a precedent. But basically, this guy murdered somebody in the late 1990s, and his defense was, you can't prosecute me because this is not America. This is the Muskegee tribe that should be trying me. And the Supreme Court this past week ruled in favor of him. And part of that ruling was that, therefore, all of eastern Oklahoma actually belongs to the Muskegee tribe.
It's just crazy, man.
Including Tulsa. Yeah. So people in Tulsa woke up in the Muskegee Indian Reservation.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Dude, I think it's insane.
It is insane,
I don't even know.
man.
I can't help but to laugh, dude. It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I kinda
sorry to
wanna
laugh,
roll up
but-
I kind of want to roll up in there and be like, "Yo, what's up? Let's gamble."
yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's kind of an anarchy zone, like, right? I mean,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is. It has to be at the moment. Well, certainly going that direction. You know what I mean? Certainly going that direction. So, but man, it's one of these things like the Citizens United case, right? Okay. Now, the Citizens United case was a voting issue, okay? But it ended up being decided in a way where, when was this? In 2007? Yeah, it was 2007, where it ended up, no, 2000. Yeah, 2007. That was it. It was 2007. It ended up being decided in a way where verbiage was put into it saying that corporations are people, okay? Corporations have a soul. They have all of the constitutional rights of a sovereign individual of the United States, right? The original intent of the lawsuit, without getting into the weeds about it, was nothing about corporate citizenship and corporate soulship or any of this kind of stuff. It was about elections, right? It was a voting issue, right? And it ends up becoming that corporations are ruled as people, was like something that wasn't even really argued before the Supreme Court. And they doubled down on their decision and gave corporations full citizenry in that moment, right? So it's kind of a situation like this. The intent of the lawsuit was not to claim, I'm sorry to laugh, Eastern Oklahoma, damn near half of the state, as Muskogee territory. That was not the purpose of the lawsuit. That's still what the Supreme Court decided. Insanity, man. Insanity. Gets me triggered, man. Gets me triggered.
yeah. But it makes you wonder, I mean, how many other places around America are like this? I mean, so dear listener, this doesn't mean that everywhere that was formerly Indian territory now belongs to Indians. That's not what this means. What it means is that where the United States government negotiated for these territories, in as much as they weren't later honored, or the negotiations were malformed, that now the Supreme Court has set a precedent that it can return back to the ownership of those original tribes.
Yep.
And if you look at a map, I mean, this is the entire state of California. This is most of Middle America. I mean, this is basically everywhere except for the Eastern Seaboard.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Crazy, man. Crazy.
You know, I just want to see, what is it? The NFAC, the Not Effing Around Coalition.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I would like to see them battle the Comanches for Texas.
That's fine. We'll take Texas. We'll take Texas. You better call us out a piece of land. Yeah.
You can carve out Texas. We'll take Texas.
Yeah. We'll take Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I want to like get some Comanches, train them up, and like put them on a battlefield.
Yeah, man.
And then
I'd love that.
and then like the winner faces Texas rednecks.
Yeah, man. Well, we know who's going to win that. So,
Yeah.
Straight up.
Texas rednecks. That's for damn
Yeah.
sure. Because they ain't no rednecks. They're actual, unlike the NFAC, who we're all ex-military. We're all ex-soldiers. Unlike them, Texas rednecks are actual ex-military and ex-soldiers, and they don't call themselves that. And they aren't. The NFAC aren't ex-soldiers and ex-military because they don't call them that. They call themselves former military.
Right.
Informer.
Exactly. That's a great point I hadn't even thought of. You are absolutely correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, you weren't in the military because you wouldn't call yourself ex-military. You would call yourself former military.
That is a damn fine point. You're absolutely correct. Yes. Yes.
Oh, so that'll be a nice 4th of July fireworks show.
Indeed.
Even if it's not on the 4th of July.
Yeah, right. So I think we can meme this into a happening. Seriously, I truly think we could if we were smart about it. I think we could. So, but man, we need a Supreme Court decision first about Texas. The Panhandle in Northeast Texas. This is all now. Well, actually, would probably be that would be kind of Cherokee territory. The middle of the state of Texas, that would be Apache territory. The middle of the state going east toward Louisiana, that would be Apache territory. and then bring in not effing around and let them fight a two-front war about taking Texas. I would love it. Yeah,
dude. You know what I think we need to do? Like the Texas Republic used to be. It was like everything that was great about Texas plus everything that was great about New Mexico plus the Rockies.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Like perfectly reached up into the Rocky Mountains all the way up to like it terminated at Wyoming.
Yeah,
northern Colorado. Right. It's like that's what Texas needs to secede from all this shit. And then okay, let's secede. I mean, New Mexico really like okay, it's pretty cool. I like New Mexico, but
I love New Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, really, like, what do they do? Produce some good MMA fighters. That's about it at this point.
Yeah.
You know, a couple shitty ski hills, like cool plateaus and desert. Okay, cool. I get it. You know, it's a cool state, but really, like, there's no reason why you can't just be a part of Texas. There's nothing in New Mexico that can't be a part of Texas.
Yeah.
Plenty of Indian tribes of which you can be a part, you know, but
yeah.
So I'm all on board with like, you know, let's secede. Let's take that part of New Mexico of which Texas used to contain, and then you know, reach right up into Colorado on those nice Rockies, which it used to also have.
Yeah,
and then just say, all right, cool. You know, everyone else, go ahead. You know, you can have Western New Mexico, the Lakota tribe. You have at it. The Cherokees, you can have Eastern New Mexico. The Not Effing Around Coalition, you can have Wyoming and Northern Wyoming. Oh, no, that's too cold for you. Okay, so Oklahoma.
Oh.
You can have Oklahoma. Oklahomans who don't want to be there, come down to Texas. You know,
for sure.
There's some organization that can happen, you know, but
yeah. Oklahomans, we're bros. You know this. Texans and Oklahomans, we go way back, right? Sometimes we get a little bit of static, some here and there, but we're friends.
I would only ask that the Oklahomans stay north of Dallas. That's all I would ask.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's funny that you bring up this point, and oh my God, Luke, I didn't get to listen to Rush much this week, but I listened to him for a little bit. I believe it was on Thursday, and he was discussing exactly what you're talking about. He was like, now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that we're going to be in the middle of a civil war anytime. I do not see that happening, but I do see massive secession happening. Don't doubt me on this. That's literally what he said. He expects secession now. That's Rush saying that. That's as mainstream as it gets, you know? And like we talked about last week in the lost episode, right, which has been found again, people are openly discussing civil war in mainstream media now. Like that is a topic on nightly news now, frequently, you know? But I don't know. Rush said secession, man. What do you make of that?
Dude, good.
Are we to that point? I think we are,
open
man.
To the idea of secession?
Yeah.
I'm totally open to it. Let's do it.
So crazy.
Let's do it.
I used to really not, man. I mean, not even a year ago. I really didn't used to be.
I want nothing to do with Antifa. I want nothing to do with California. I want nothing to do with Portland, Oregon, which this is something we should also talk about. But I want nothing to do with these other states. Just let them go. Let them fail. Look, dude, these states, here's why I'm like, it's not that I don't view like, oh, I'm pro secession because our politics are just too different. That is sugarcoating the whole thing.
Yeah.
That is not my opinion. That is sugarcoating an opinion. The reason I say that is because all of these other states are necessarily going downhill. All of these other states are succubuses upon states.
They are.
Like like productive states like Florida, Texas, and you'll have these people go, yeah, but California, they produce so much more wealth than places like Texas, and Texas, blah 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 blah. Yeah, like they do, but they also allow destruction of private property. It's near impossible to live. Like, you don't go out to California for the cheap living. You go out to California for the expensive pay.
Right. That's right.
So, okay, sure, they're producing some things, but oh, wonderful. California gave us Instagram. Wow. We are all better off for that.
And Hollywood. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, which produces shit movies.
Yes.
Now, it's like Jessica and I today, we're like our favorite thing to do during the week is we wake up on Saturday, we eat breakfast, and then we get back in bed and we watch something usually on my phone. And this morning we watched the Ninja Turtle movie from 1990.
Yeah.
And that movie was so much better than this bullshit CGI movie from 2010, 20 years later. Where it's like Shredder looks like he's one of the Autobots or something out of Transformers. It's like what happened to the day when you could just, God forbid, just have an actor, in a costume. Now it's got to be something out of Transformers, and cartoonish, and something where it's like the way in which the camera follows the scene is something so out of this world that it's not even believable.
Yeah, it's like a video game. That Hollywood has bought into the whole video game design and applied it directly to filmmaking. It's sad.
It's pathetic.
It's sad.
It's pathetic.
It's pathetic.
It's not filmmaking. It's video game making. Like,
that's right.
It's like right. You'd be better off just making a video game over which the people viewing it can control. Yeah. Now it's like a video game over which you have no control. So you're just watching a video game.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And then Hollywood is like, oh, we're failing because everyone's a racist. Well, no, you're failing because nobody wants to watch a video game. They want to play a video game.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, what do we do? Oh, you know what you do? You stop paying people to do CGI and you hire actors and you hire filmmakers and you hire people with camera people and you make movies again.
Right.
God forbid you have to make a movie and you don't just hire people to do CGI. Jesus Christ.
I know, brother. I know.
I don't watch movies. I haven't seen, what is that? What the hell is this? Hunger Games and all this shit. What's the other one?
I don't know. I did watch Hunger Games, it sucked. Well, it was okay. Which other one are you talking about? It was like a series. Is that what you mean?
I mean, any. What's any movie that's come out in the last 10 years? I can guarantee you I haven't seen it.
Star Wars.
Oh no, I watched one with my parents begrudgingly, and we all criticized it afterwards as being more shallow. We all criticized it as being like one of the originals, but more shallow.
Yeah,
and all CGI and ridiculous looking.
Yeah,
the whole thing was ridiculous looking.
Yep.
In fact, Russ, that was the last movie I've seen in a movie theater, and I think that was like 2012, something like this, 2013. Whatever that shitty last star, they're all shitty. Whatever the last shitty one that came out.
Yeah.
I don't even know, dude. Like, all of them suck. Hollywood sucks. All of the movies suck. They're all shit. I hate CGI. Even the storyline sucks. It's like, take Jurassic Park. Okay. The original Jurassic Park was like this interesting story about like, oh, what would happen if we tampered with nature, and like it was this interesting storyline about the guy who understood the velociraptors, and and he was like, oh, clever girl, right before she attacked him and killed him, and it was this interesting dialogue around and story around like, oh, what's the philosophical understanding around tampering with nature, right? And then, like, a few Jurassic Park movies later, it's like, oh, watch that pterodactyl kill that guy. Oh, man, that's crazy. You know, and like that's the whole movie. The whole movie is
Yeah.
like CGI and hey, watch the pterodactyl kill that guy. You know, there's no intellectuality, there's no philosophy, there's no oh, hey, let's have this understanding of, oh, wow, that's an interesting concept of like tampering with nature. No, now it's all about like pterodactyls like descending upon people and how cool the CGI looks. You know, it's like they've just, it's just worthless. All of it's worthless, just worthless, useless porn art. That's all it is.
Yeah, really nihilistic. They have gone full bore in buying into the nihilism of the left completely, right? Where even they have fictionalized nihilism now. They have
Dude,
fictionalized.
they really have.
So,
nihilism is like a style of. It's like you're going to go to Barnes and Nobles and it's like history, biography, nihilism. You know,
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Well, should we do a break?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So, dear listener, Luke and I had a tough time this week. This has been a great week in audio. We discussed Kayleigh McEnany's press conference. Luke, I always want to call her Kayleigh McEnany because of Kellyanne Conway, you know, but Kayleigh McEnany. She's done some work. The God tier Rick Roberts hosted Ted Cruz on his show yesterday, and it was absolutely fantastic. They talked about lots of things, but Luke and I have to go with the Rose Garden speech that President Trump made this past Tuesday, and there are a variety of reasons that we need to talk about this, okay? Luke, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I'm going to have some questions to ask you about this speech. Have you watched it yet by chance? Me. I got to ask you some things. My bad. I got to ask you some things. So sorry about that. Yeah, she is. Yeah. Yeah. So when we come back into segment 2, let's discuss this little ditty.
Well, that's good because I can't count to segment 5.
Yeah. I know. All right. All right, dear listeners. So thank you so much for riding along this 89-mile journey. We're about halfway down it right now. Luke and I are going to be back at you in, Luke, what do you say, 10, 13 minutes, somewhere in there, something like that?
I don't know. I can't count beyond 5.
All right. I'll put it on my phone. I'll sit on my phone.
Send me on your Obama phone. Send it to me on the Obama phone.
All right, dear listener, once again, Luke and I are going to dismount. We're going to rest up here real quick. In the meantime, enjoy the president. Luke and I will be back at you before you know it.
China was for the first time respecting the United States. And now they want to do something that's much different, Joe Biden. So I've watched this, and I've watched it with great interest. We're building our economy again. I guess the stock market went up almost 500 points today or something thereabouts. You'll check, but it was up a lot when I left. And our economy is coming back. We're almost at a level where, even though it's long before the very important, maybe the most important ever election of November 3rd, but long before that, but we're close to record stock markets again, and NASDAQ hit an all-time high for the 16th time. Think of that, for the 16th time over the last month or so, for the 16th time. So one of our markets already hit an all-time high. Today, Joe Biden gave a speech in which he said that the core of his economic agenda is a hard left crusade against American energy. He wants to kill American energy. He wants to re-enter the unfair, one-sided Paris Climate Accord, which will destroy us, at the expense of many other nations who benefit. It was actually drawn, in my opinion, to take advantage of the United States, just like so many other deals are done to take advantage of the fools running the United States. but this would do nothing for the environment, but would cripple American industry while greatly helping China. He wants to impose massive energy taxes and job-crushing mandates to eliminate carbon from the United States economy. Let him define the word carbon, because he won't be able to. Obliterating American oil, clean coal, natural gas, and the natural energy resources that supply countless American jobs. Joe Biden put AOC, a young woman, not talented in many ways, in charge of his energy plan and the environment, essentially. Her and Bernie Sanders, who ran a lot of times for president, never made it. Good base, but that's about it. In other words, he wants to impose the Green New Deal on our country. When I first saw the Green New Deal, I thought it was a joke. I said, this will never go anywhere. Now they're trying to impose it. This will destroy our country and make us non-competitive with other countries. Don't forget, we're in competition with China and with many other countries throughout the world. We're in tremendous economic competition, including Europe, which has never treated us well. The European Union was formed in order to take advantage of the United States. They formed and they take advantage of the United States. And I know that. They know I know that. But other presidents had no idea. Last week, Joe Biden released his unity platform developed with socialist Bernie Sanders, describing what he would do if elected president. The Biden-Sanders agenda is the most extreme platform of any major party nominee by far in American history. I think it's worse than actually Bernie's platform. It's gone so far right. And he's doing that because he's begging for that vote. But one of the things I just asked my people to do is just draw up for me, just quickly, some of the things that we've been hearing about over the last couple of weeks. And these are actual key elements of the Biden-Sanders unity platform. Abolish immigration detention. No more detention. You come in here illegally, no more detention. Stop all deportations. So if we get a MS-13 gang member, which we've taken out of our country by the thousands, brought them back to Honduras, Guatemala, can't do that anymore. El Salvador. Can't do that anymore. Stop all deportations. In other words, we'll take all of these people, many of whom are in prison for rape, murder, lots of other things. End prosecution of illegal border crossers. Oh, okay, they come in illegally and we have to stop the whole process. Support the deadly sanctuary cities where many of these people are protected better than the American citizen is protected. Incentivize illegal alien child smuggling. Give it an incentive. Because if you look at what they're saying, that's exactly what they do. Incentivize illegal alien child smuggling. They're incentivized by what this plan calls for. Expand asylum for all new illegal aliens. How about that one? All new illegal aliens. Expand asylum. Cancel all asylum cooperation agreements in the Western Hemisphere. Well, we have agreements with Honduras, Guatemala, with El Salvador. We have great agreements where when Biden and Obama used to bring killers out, they would say, don't bring them back to our country. We don't want them. Well, we have to. We don't want them. They wouldn't take them. Now with us, they take them. Someday I'll tell you why. Someday I'll tell you why. But they take them, and they take them very gladly. They used to bring them out, and they wouldn't even let the airplanes land if they brought them back by airplanes. They wouldn't let the buses into their country. They said, we don't want them. Said, no, but they entered our country illegally, and they're murderers, they're killers in some cases. And they said, nope, we don't want them. They'd turn the bus around, they'd turn the plane around, then they'd land in the United States, and who knows what happened to them. But it wasn't good. Taxpayer-funded lawyers will be given to all illegal aliens. So we're going to pay now for the lawyers' lobby, and we're going to give all illegal aliens taxpayer-funded lawyers. How does that sound? Pretty good? In other words, come in here illegally, we're going to give you free legal advice. We'll take you up to the Supreme Court as much as possible. abolish immigration enforcement against illegal workers. Think of that. Abolish immigration enforcement. They're going to abolish immigration enforcement. Well, basically, as you know, what they're going to do is they're going to rip down the wall. They're taking it down. They want to take down the wall, which we fought hard for. We're up to 259 miles right now of great, powerful wall that's really working, because if you look at the numbers, in addition to the fact that Mexico, for various reasons, has 27,000 soldiers on our southern border to keep people out of our country. And I appreciate it. We had a great meeting last week with the president of Mexico, a great guy, friend of mine, become a friend of mine. A lot of people thought that couldn't happen because we're very opposite in terms of our views, maybe even in terms of our temperament. But he's a great guy, and he's a friend of mine, and they've been terrific. Mexico has been terrific. 27,000 soldiers on our border, Mexican soldiers. And we have great, great numbers. We get rid of so many different things. Catch and release is gone. So many different things have taken place. We used to catch them, take their name, and release them into our country. We don't do that anymore. We now release them back where they came from. Sometimes we'll bring them back to their country. Grant work permits for illegal aliens. So if you come in illegally, you get a work permit. People that live here don't get work permits, in many cases. Provide taxpayer subsidies and welfare for illegal aliens and new immigrants. So we want to provide taxpayer subsidies and welfare for people that come into our country illegally, illegal immigrants. They want government health care for all illegal aliens. This is part of their plan. I'm not making this up. This is all down in their plan from last week. And this is good compared to what I heard today. Federal student aid and free community college for illegal aliens. What do you think about that? Federal student aid and free community college. We're going to have every person in the world pouring into our country from all over the world. And by the way, the wall was so timely because it stopped people coming in from heavily infected areas of Mexico. If we had that, we would be in trouble like you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. And remember, cases is different than deaths. And cases we give you because our testing is the best in the world. And by the way, by far the most. 45 million. Find out which country tested 45 million people. If China, if Russia, if India tested 45 million people, or if they did tests like we did, check out how many cases they'd have. But it's still, we've done a great job, get no credit for it. And I don't want the credit. I want the people that have done this great job, the people that have done such an incredible job on building the ventilators and doing the testing and building a testing platform that's been amazing. We have many platforms. Many companies have come up with different forms of tests. When we started, there was no such thing. Sign new immigrants up for welfare immediately. This is Joe Biden. So they walk off and they come in and they put a foot into our land and we sign up new immigrants up for welfare. We sign them up immediately. They get welfare benefits. United States citizens don't get what they're looking to give illegal immigrants. Think of that. Sign up. Hard to believe I'm even reading that. New immigrants for welfare immediately. Not to mention the cost of this, which is incalculable. The cost of this is so crazy. End requirement for immigrant self-sufficiency and maximize their welfare. Now, this is us writing this. Who's not coming to the United States? Every person from South America is going to pour in. Every person from other countries, they're going to be pouring in. End requirement, think of that, for immigrant self-sufficiency. And remember to maximize welfare. So we give it a maximum. Then we have massively expand immigration during a global pandemic, taking jobs from unemployed Americans. End all travel bans, including from jihadist regions. So now we have travel bans. A lot of you said I didn't get the travel ban, and you were wrong. We got the travel ban. We lost in the Ninth Circuit. We lost again in the Ninth Circuit. And then we won in the Supreme Court. We have a very strong travel ban.
Welcome back to HSP episode number 89. Before we continue, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Zero Gravity Med. You can find me on Twitter at Lucifer Skinner, LUKEFAHR SKINNER. You can find Russ on Twitter at RussZGM. If you want to find all of our content, you can do so at zero-gravity-media.com. And don't forget to find all of our content. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Podbean, TuneIn, and what am I forgetting, Russ? There's one more. YouTube. All Zero Gravity Med.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right. We don't allow ourselves to be beholden to any single distribution channel because we refuse to allow ourselves to be held down by iron chains.
That's right.
So we only aspire to gold chains.
That's right. All right. So let me ask you some questions. Let me ask you some questions here real fast. The contention goes thus, and I initially agreed, okay? When I listened to it live, this speech live in the Rose Garden on Tuesday, I went over to my parents' place and I was like, okay, shit, you know what? That was great. It was a great speech. Probably shouldn't do something like that, like a rally-style campaign event in the Rose Garden. Dear listener, this whole speech is laden with so much context.
Subtext.
Such rich subtext. Yeah. Everything. Every kind of text. All kinds of text.
All them texts.
Right? All them texts. that we really can't go through all of it, okay? But the contention is this, Luke, in my original belief, and then I recanted my belief, and we'll get into that in a minute, so I don't get ahead of myself. But probably shouldn't do something like that in the Rose Garden.
The beliefs.
Shit. Well, that was my original belief, that you probably shouldn't do something like that in the Rose Garden. And sure enough, Karl Rove stepped straight into line the next morning on Fox and Friends, saying that really you shouldn't bring campaign politics to the presidency. You should try to bring the presidency to campaign politics. Okay. And it kind of pissed me off a little bit when he said that.
What are your general thoughts on Karl Rove?
Smart guy, T-Sip.
Is he a T-Sip?
No offense, Austinites. Yeah,
I thought he was in Arizona.
No offense,
I thought he was
Austinites.
like an Arizona type.
No, he's from Texas and he lives in Austin now. He always broadcasts from when he does Fox or whatever. He goes to the Capitol and they set him up a live shot there at the Capitol.
Dude, wouldn't it be funny if he was actually True Capitalist Radio?
That would. Oh shit! Ghost was Karl Rove this whole time. Oh, so yeah. But smart guy. George W. Bush referred to him as the architect, and I do think that Karl Rove won Bush both elections. I think he did.
It had nothing to do with Bush. It was Karl Rove and Bush's campaign manager that did it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah. So there are things I like about Karl Rove, and there are things I don't. I think he's really smart, but he does reek of never Trumperism here and there. You know what I mean? So let me ask you. So, yeah, he is a cuck. Yeah, he's an old school purple cuck.
Yeah, he's like the least worst of cucks, but he's a cuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, but there are things I like about. I'd have a beer with him. I'll put it that way. I'd have a beer with him. I think he's cool. Just I don't come from the same school of right-wing politics as himself. That's just it. I just don't. So question number one, do you think that was, I argued to my parents, the president has a timing issue right now, and I'm full on Trump train. Never doubt, never disbelieve, right? I think he's got a problem with Jared Kushner, his top advisor right now, but I think he got American politics back on the rails, as Luke and I said in number 88, the weekend of July 4th. I think he really did. And it's full steam ahead at this point, and I think he did great. But Luke, do you think it was a misstep to trash talk Joe Biden and campaign in the Rose Garden, at a press conference in the Rose Garden? What do you think about that? Because the left is squawking about it. That's all they've talked about all week. Oh, my God. His first question, Mr. President, you've spoken for the better part of an hour with a political message here in the Rose Garden, blah, 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 blah. And then he declares a statement and masks it as a question. And Trump swatted it away. Well, so what do you think? What do you think?
I mean,
is the speech below the office of the presidency?
I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. At first, I thought like Karl Rove. Like, you know what? I wish I was there as an advisor in the White House, because if I could supersede Jared Kushner and get the president's ear for a moment, I wouldn't let something like this happen. But then I got to thinking about it. First of all, he has to get the message out, and he did clearly. The left, that there is a specific reason, dear listener, that Luke and I played this segment. He outlined the absolute peril that we face if the left is elected into office in the fall. He outlined it perfectly. Okay? Yes, it's political. Yes, it's campaign stuff. It is an existential threat to our country, what the left is doing right now. Joe Biden has gone full on AOC now, full on Bernie Sanders. Remember, now the DNC rigged the primary in favor of Joe Biden. Why did they do this? Because he was the centrist candidate and they didn't want to go off the rails. Now Joe Biden is all in with Bernie, and it's going as far to the left as you can possibly go.
Yeah.
Right? This needs to be addressed on a national stage. But Luke, you know what really flipped me when I thought about it, and I think it was last night that it finally occurred to me. You know something? Fuck Joe Biden. Seriously. He's an absolute criminal. He is a criminal. I'm out of compassion about his senility and all this kind of stuff. He deserves to get BTFO'd from the Rose Garden or from the press stand or from the Oval, wherever it happens. He deserves it because that man is a criminal. And so I really don't take exception with, and also this, when I found Karl Rove agreeing with my opinion, I was like, damn, okay, I might need to rethink it. So I did, you know. I think Joe Biden entirely deserves what just happened to him. And furthermore, I think the left entirely deserves to be excoriated, revealed, and humiliated in the Rose Garden. That's what flipped me about it. What do you think?
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even have an opinion on that but of course. By the way, I just looked up.
Yeah, but of course.
But I looked up the Ghost show.
Yeah.
He's done.
Really? He finished again? Wow. Okay.
Last one was January.
Really? Huh. I thought he was still going on this whole time. I'll be damned.
Last one.
Huh.
And his shitty video is with Samsung S5, which is like 5 years old.
Yeah. Well, you know, Ghost, I would say that you could come on the show sometime, but you can't, bro.
Sorry. Yeah.
You're not welcome here.
I mean, any one of your bronies can come on, but
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. So,
I have a couple of things I want to ask you about.
Yeah, sure. Bring it.
All right, I've got this article, Washington Examiner piece, titled "Justice Department Gives Update on When to Expect Pivotal Report from John Durham."
I read the piece, and I have some audio about that as well. Carrie Kupek. I've got the piece, but bring it. Right.
All right. U.S. Attorney John Durham's criminal inquiry into the Russian investigation is on track to release a report by the end of the summer, according to the Justice Department. Carrie Kupek, a top spokeswoman for the agency, told Fox News this week that a report is not, quote, the goal, end quote, of the criminal investigation, but it will nevertheless, quote, be really pivotal to the restoration of that one-tiered system of justice, end quote. I love that paragraph.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, man. Yep. I do too.
And going on.
I loved her comments as well. Yeah.
The politically charged review, which shifted into a criminal investigation last fall, has been decried by Democrats, of course, as a scheme to damage President Trump's rivals ahead of 2020 election, and hailed by Republicans who claimed the Russian investigation was a partisan hit job. Oh my God! I'm triggered. I'm triggered. I'm triggered.
He's rigging the election. He's rigging the election right before our very eyes. Anyway,
I need to calm. Okay. Yoga.
Soy shakes.
Soy shake.
Soy
Hold on,
shakes.
I need a soy shake. Hold on.
I know that feel. Do you feel better? You know, soy is very relaxing. It really kills the testosterone out of you.
I don't feel better. I don't think there's anything that can make me feel better, but I think that I can. I have the strength. I have the strength to continue.
It's okay. Just take another sip.
I need more.
Take another sip. It'll be okay.
I need more soy.
It'll be okay.
I need more soy. I think I have the strength.
Good. Can you finish the piece? Can you at least finish the piece? I know it's hard, but if you could finish the piece, I think that you will feel self-validated, and I think that it will help you work through this if you just work through your demons this way. If you could just get through that piece.
Oh, I need soy.
I do too. I have some too.
Okay. I'll try to finish it.
I just felt my boobs grow. I already feel better.
I'll try. This is my mission.
I think it'll be good for you. I think it'll be good for you.
This is for the country.
Yes.
This is for the country.
Yes.
This is for the people.
Yes.
This is for Black lives.
Yes. Absolutely.
Attorney General William Barr said last month he anticipates developments in Durham's investigation, hopefully before the end of the summer?
Indeed.
Kupek
Indeed.
reinforced this notion that this was only a guess. Hold on, my hands are shaking.
I know. It's okay.
I'm shaking. I'm literally shaking.
Literally shaking. I know. I'm shaking too. It's okay. We're kind people. We'll get through this.
Literally shaking. I will try to continue. Only because I am sacrificing myself right now.
Yes, it's for our country. Yes.
There are no guarantees in life, but we certainly hope to see one by the end of the summer. I think it's important. Kupek said.
Yeah. You know, I would play Carrie Kupek, but I think you did it better than her, Queen. I think you did such a better job. Really. I do.
I'm literally shaking.
I do.
I'm literally shaking right now.
I know.
I just added on my Outlook to-do list to not shake anymore.
Well, that's good. Remind yourself hourly about it. Remind yourself hourly. We all need the support from Outlook right now. We all need it. We need support from each other, and we need support from our apps as well.
That's a major problem because I set it as a recurring reminder for daily. So I just hold on. Okay, now I set it to hourly to remind me hourly not to get triggered.
I think that's better. I think that's safer. I think that will help you get through this.
I just take a deep breath.
I know, honey. I know.
You know something funny? Jessica just texted me. She says, "Could you please keep it down, baby?"
Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Sorry, Jessica. Sorry.
Apparently, I was.
Damn, we were pretty quiet just then. Shit.
Huh. Yeah. I guess I was a little too triggered. I mean, I was trying to play the role, you know.
Yeah.
I was like trying to, put myself into the Acropolis to play the role.
Right. Well, so I get your point. I understand what you're asking. I have full faith in John Bull Durham and William Barr. Carrie Cupet came out blasting on Bill Hemmer's show this week, all guns blazing, and I do expect results by the end of the summer. Luke, there was a series of bombshells that dropped yesterday that totally, once again, invalidated all of Spygate, because it's not just that it was a criminal conspiracy, it's that there is now evidence that they knew it was a criminal conspiracy. You set your watch to it. John Bull Durham already knows this. Let me. It's a Sarah Carter piece. I'm going to take it from the lead. It goes thus. A top government watchdog group obtained 136 pages of never-before-publicized emails between the former FBI lovers Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, and one in particular appears to refer to a confidential informant inside the White House in 2017, according to a press release form from Judicial Watch. Let me read that one more again for maximum retention. And in one in particular appears to refer to a confidential informant inside the White House in 2017, according to a press release from Judicial Watch. Damn. Let's find out who that is. These memos, texts have been leaked. They've been published. They're still redacted. Let's find out who this son of a bitch is who's been leaking from the White House since 2017. This will be great stuff. Got another piece here called Giddy Up from Sundance. I'm going to take it from the lead. It goes thus. Here we go. The release today dovetails nicely into a much bigger story about how the FISA application against Carter Page was weaponized by the leadership group within the DOJ, FBI, and ultimately the Mueller probe. The Mueller team of resistance operatives were ultimately the team who took over the task of continuing the weaponization process. Here's how it goes, dear listener. Let me read paragraph 2. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham released today 2 recently declassified documents. Thank you, John Ratcliffe. Indeed, thank you, sir. My former congressperson. Congressman. The documents relate to how the intelligence apparatus conducted surveillance abuses against the Trump campaign in 2016 and ultimately the Trump administration after inauguration. Way to finally throw down Lindsey Graham, but actually it's truly because of new ODNI, John Ratcliffe. John Ratcliffe, way to go. The piece goes on to detail, dear listener, what happened is that they were running an op against the president. And then the reason that they renewed these FISA warrants is because they knew that, first of all, they were lying the entire time. And this has everything to do with James Wolfe and Ali Watkins, that whole scandal where he leaked this very FISA warrant about which we speak to Ali Watkins. It has everything to do with this. That was the pivotal moment in this operation, in fact. But what it details is that they had to keep renewing the FISA warrants because they had to let Mueller perpetuate the lie, right? Everybody knew it was false. They all knew it. They knew they were running an operation with a plant inside the White House. They knew it. They knew that Christopher Steele lied the entire time. They knew it. Okay? Stop and think about this. This is third world shit right here. They were running, our own government was running an operation against the presidency. We've said it over and over and over again. Now there's proof, right? Just about how insidious this went. But they doubled down on the second FISA warrant, the third FISA warrant, the fourth FISA warrant. Why? Because Bob Mueller's probe had begun at this time, and they had to keep the cover going for Bob Mueller. Damn. That is some serious, filthy shit. Serious, filthy shit. And so it's like this, Luke. John Bull Durham knows this, and I expect indictments. I do. I think things are going well.
I agree entirely.
Yep. Good deal, man. Good deal. Yeah. 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 All right. So, I think that's closed. Do you got anything else to say? I've got 5 more pieces about it, but yeah, we can move on, man. Where should we go?
Wherever you want to go, dude.
All right. How about this BLM protest situation? What's going on in Portland? There are active protests right now, dear listener, though you would not know this from the mainstream media. They are not covering this anymore, and I think that they realized it was working against their agenda because Trump has come up in the polls with all of this destruction of statues and burning of cities and all of this by proven Marxist organizations that Luke and I did before anybody else, Luke, if I may say, which I do. We were on BLM and Antifa long before anybody jumped on this train, and we were vindicated. We are now vindicated entirely. Yeah. So, yeah. So, dear listener, active protest sites include Chicago last night. It was bad. Florida happening right now. Cincinnati and Cleveland, Ohio happening right now. Portland is in perpetuity protest since the end of May. It's crazy. And you wouldn't know that any of this is happening, but it is, right? So what ended up happening is that Homeland Security went and vanned a bunch of these protesters. Vanned meaning that they threw them in vans and took them away and arrested them. Okay. We now have Nancy Pelosi. Let me find it, Luke. It's important to get the terminology right. Where's my section on it? Where is it? Yeah. Okay. Let me do Bernie first. He tweets this today. Against the wishes of state and local officials, unmarked federal agents in combat gear have invaded parts of Portland, Oregon. This is what a police state looks like. These troops must be withdrawn immediately. We must defend the Constitution. We must defeat Trump. Yeah, defend the Constitution. F you, bro. Here goes Nancy Pelosi. She says in an interview, she calls this happened just last night on MSNBC. She called them stormtroopers, the DHS people that are going and shutting down this riot that Portland and Oregon themselves are not willing to do. It's chaos in Portland right now, dear listener. So people got vanned, right? This is indeed against the wishes of the governor and the mayor, right? They want this to continue. They want this city to burn to the ground because an election must be won. So DHS went and arrested some people. Now, Luke, there is a federalist argument here that it's an overstep of federal power. That Bernie himself just made it and Nancy Pelosi is saying the same thing. What say you?
What do you mean?
Do you think it's an overstep of federal power? Do you think that this is a constitutional issue that we now have to go defend our Constitution? Do you think that? In a way, I kind of do. I'll be honest. I think it's a sexy argument that the left is making, right? I think it is. It's just so funny how they are so anti-Constitution and then they wield it as a weapon when they need to.
Yeah, but concretize their argument for me, please. Because I'm not sure
that
I want to say fuck you, but concretize.
Yeah. I do too. The concrete is this. Trump has overstepped federalism, his federal power, by invading with stormtroopers. Oh my God. Portland, Oregon, and vanning some folks. It's bullshit, man. Bullshit. You know? And, in this particular case, I think it was done very cleverly, okay? Had he used the National Guard, yeah, that would be an optics problem, but he didn't. He used DHS, which has ultimate authority over the security of every state within this union, this temporary union or unstable union, whatever you want to call it, right? So I actually just don't care, man. Just shut them down. Take them to jail. Just shut them down and take them to jail. And as you heard in the audio break, dear listener, the president talked a little bit about what they were doing with Antifa. Hundreds of arrests. William Barr came out on last week. It was on Ted Cruz's podcast, and he said that there are 500 investigations into Antifa. This is good. This is good. This has to stop. It's a Marxist take. This is it. It's war. It's war, right? We have to defend our republic because it is trying. The Marxists are literally trying to overthrow us right now from within, right? It's not an external force, but it is an existential force, and it has to stop, or this country is over. In fact, one of the ringleaders at this protest in Portland last night said exactly that. Our objective is to overthrow the United States in its current form. That's what she said. That's what she said. Don't believe me and Luke. Go see it for yourself, right? So I think it's legit. And also, I'm the same as you, Luke. Just, but I try to consider the other argument. Okay, let's say that patriots were protesting Second Amendment restrictions in, let's say, I don't know, St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, and they all brought out their AR-15s, and everybody's being peaceful. They're not shooting the place up or anything like that, like these rioters are, right? But then all of a sudden, let's say Obama is president, they roll in with vans and they van everybody. I mean, so I do try to consider the opposing argument, right? It's just that they are so insincere when they make this argument, right? So you know what? Screw that. I'm not even going to consider their position. I don't care. Right? It's this, Luke. It's irreconcilable at this point. It is irreconcilable. Yeah. Yeah. And even Russ says it, for God's sake. Yeah. Damn. Triggered, man. All right. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something. This is what you asked me last week. All right. If you have to choose one of three and only one, okay? Number one, the absolute destruction of the left. Number two, peaceful separation, and number three, civil war. What of those do you choose?
Destruction of the left, of course.
Yeah, that's what I picked too. Yeah. I actually said in 89.1, I actually said peaceful separation because the audio broke up when you asked question one, so I screwed that up, So, yeah.
All right, well, let's close the show out.
All right, let's do it. Can you run us through the socials real fast?
Yeah, sure. Dear listener, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Zero Gravity Med. You can find us on YouTube simply by searching Zero Gravity Media. You can find me on Twitter at Lukefer Skinner, LUKEFAHR. You can find Russ on Twitter at RussZGM. Russ, what am I forgetting?
Nothing. That's it. That's
right.
it, man. You nailed it. All right, dear listener, for the second time, we have made it all the way down this 89-mile trek. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it as much as Luke and I did. Luke and I are going to be back at you next week on time and under budget. You set your watch to it, and it's going to be a decade episode number 90, coming at you in the immediate future. Meanwhile, you take care of yourselves, dear listener. Be good to yourself. Do something nice for yourself this week. And take care of your families. And Luke, you do the same. You take care of yourself and Jessica, man, and we'll be in touch.
You too, brother.
All right.
Peace.
Late.